Donald Trump just pulled off one of the biggest political power plays in modern US history. Overnight, the rules changed, and the entire playing field just tilted in his favor. If you thought his presidency was already polarizing, buckle up. What I'm about to tell you will either make you cheer or make your jaw drop. And trust me, the final reveal will change the way you see the next election. The judges lose their trump card. For years, a single federal judge, often from a deep blue state, could block Trump's policies across all 50 states. But not anymore. Now their rulings only affect their own district. Trump called it a monumental victory for the Constitution. This isn't just a win in court, it's a seismic shift in presidential power.
This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch. The Supreme Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done. And really, it's been an amazing period of time this last hour. There are people elated all over the country. I've seen such happiness and spirit. Sometimes you don't see that, but this case is very important.
The shocking stats: Pam Bondi dropped, standing right beside Trump, a truth bomb. Out of 40 nationwide injunctions against him, 35 came from just 5 districts: Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, California, and Washington. 5 out of 94 districts controlling the whole country. That's over. The chokehold is gone.
35 of the 40 nationwide injunctions filed against this president, against his executive authority as President of the United States, 35 of them came from Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, California, Washington. I mean, that's crazy. These 5 districts. So yes, it indirectly impacts us. It will be a separate decision.
Parents take back the classroom. In a move guaranteed to spark heated debates, the Supreme Court ruled that parents can now opt their kids out of classes with LGBTQ materials. Trump said, "Parents lost control of their child. This gives it back." Is it controversial? Absolutely. Is it a new line in the sand for culture wars? Without question.
Why don't we keep it on this subject? This is such a big subject. You know what? Trade is so big, but this, I don't know, in a certain way, this might be bigger than trade. I think this is bigger than trade. Yes, please, go ahead.
I was wondering, though, if you could...
Go ahead.
Sir, on the transgender ruling, the Supreme Court ruling that parents with religious objections can pull their kids out of public school lessons that use LGBTQ materials. Pam brought it up. Your reaction to that ruling today, sir?
I think the ruling was a great ruling, and I think it's a great ruling for parents. It's really a ruling for parents. They lost control of the schools. They lost control of their child. And this is a tremendous victory for parents. And I'm not surprised by it, but I am surprised that it went this far. It took us to bring life back to normal. So it's wonderful. It's parental. And I kept saying, we will give you back your parental rights. They were taken away, and this is a tremendous victory for parents. Yeah.
No more taxpayer-funded gender surgeries. Trump now has the green light to stop all federal funding for gender transition procedures. Courts used to block him. Not anymore. The government's checkbook on this issue? Slapped shut. Whether you see this as common sense or cruel, it's a major policy shift. Let's see.
Decision, we can now properly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people.
TDA gang crackdown. The TDA, one of the most violent gangs on earth. According to Bondi, under Biden, thousands of members entered the U.S. unchecked. Under Trump, 2,111 arrests. And counting. She told Americans, "You should all feel safer now."
If you have an undocumented baby, would that baby then be an enforcement priority?
The violent criminals in our country are the priority now. Let me put it in perspective. Today marked the 2,711th arrest in our country of TDA members, just TDA. Everyone in this room agrees they are one of the most violent criminal organizations in the world. And the Biden administration let them walk into our country for the last 4 years. 2,711 of them today have been arrested in our country. That is the priority of Donald Trump. That is the priority of this country, of Homeland Security, of all of our lawyers, of FBI. That's the priority. That will be discussed in October when the Supreme Court hopefully rules in our favor, and we're very confident of that. But you should all feel safer now that President Trump can deport all of these gangs, and not one district court judge can think they're an emperor over this administration and his executive powers and why the people of the United States elected him.
Sanctuary cities lose their funding. Lifeline: before, liberal judges blocked Trump from punishing sanctuary cities. Today, he can cut off every single dollar. California, for example, keeps protecting illegal immigrants. The federal money stops. Overnight, the faucet just ran dry.
Are you going to cut funds in the sanctuary states, like for instance California, they keep supporting illegal immigration and then these people work under
Yeah, we're
the
giving them
table?
a hard time.
And also, in a foreign policy
I
question,
mean, they don't have a governor in California. They have a man that wants to give away everything to people that nobody's seen before. If we didn't go into Los Angeles with the military, which did a fantastic job, but if we didn't go into Los Angeles bringing in the National Guard, I would have brought the military if it was necessary, because you have to. We have the right to. That was another thing upheld by the Supreme Court. But if we didn't go in with the National Guard and be strong and tough, you wouldn't maybe have Los Angeles. It would be like the rest of California, the rest of Los Angeles. They lost 25,000 houses in a fire. They should have lost none. You know, I sent the water down. I had to break into their water supply because they just refused to do it. They're crazy. There's something wrong with them. They have plenty of water. They don't have droughts or anything. They have We let it come down from the Pacific Northwest. They routed all the water out into the Pacific Ocean for environmental reasons, okay? And now you have 25,000 houses, none of which would have burned down if you had the water. They didn't have water. They didn't have water for the fire pumps. They didn't have water in the sprinkler systems that people put in. So the answer is we're going to work with governors. We're going to work with radical left Democrats and Democrats, and we're going to make it good for everybody. We'll have to stop the crime in those. In the case of the cities, I think I can say just about all cities with heavy crime are run by Democrats.
Africa peace deal with a twist. Trump brokered peace between Rwanda and Congo after years of bloody conflict. But this wasn't charity, it was strategy. The US walked away with major mineral rights from Congo. Think rare earth elements, the stuff that fuels tech, defense, and energy dominance. This was geopolitics and business.
Congratulations. A couple of very different questions. One is Rwanda, 1994. As you grew up in New York, we all knew how horrific those attacks were. Congratulations on that treaty. There are talks that perhaps...
That's going to take place today at 3 o'clock in the Oval Office. We're going to have a signing with Rwanda and the Congo.
I have a follow-up.
So I'm a little out of my league in that one because I didn't know too much about it. I knew one thing. They were going at it for many years and with machetes. It is one of the worst wars that anyone's ever seen. And I just happened to have somebody that was able to get it settled. I mean, just a brilliant person who is very comfortable in that part of the world. It's a very dangerous part of the world. I said, are you uncomfortable there? People are being killed. School children are being raided and killed. And I don't even want to say how, but as viciously as I've ever heard. Are you uncomfortable? No, that's the part of the world that I know. Very comfortable. Was able to get them together and sell it. And not only that, we're getting for the United States a lot of the mineral rights from the Congo as part of it. They're so honored to be here. They never thought they'd be coming to. Look, this is a very tough part of the world. They never thought, they were just telling me, they never thought they'd ever be coming to the White House, and they're so honored, and so we're going to give them a great big reception, but that's after many years of fighting. It's a great thing. That's at 3 o'clock, I believe.
Iran on notice. When asked if he'd bomb Iran again, Trump didn't flinch. Without question, absolutely. His demands: surrender all nuclear materials, zero uranium production. Full inspection access, no negotiation, no wiggle room. It's the hardest line yet. Birthright citizenship faces the Supreme Court. Trump argues it was meant for the children of freed slaves, not people visiting the US to give birth. This case hits the Supreme Court in October. If he wins, millions could lose automatic citizenship. His most controversial move yet, and the fight hasn't even started.
You know, they used birthright citizenship, some of the worst people, some of the cartels, to get people into our country, just so you know. And again, I say, if you look at the end of the Civil War, the 1800s, it was a very turbulent time. If you take the end day, was it 1869 or whatever, but you take that exact day, that's when the case was filed. And the case ended shortly thereafter. This had to do with the babies of slaves, very, very obviously. And I think we're going to win. People didn't, I don't think they went about discussing it right. I came along and we looked and we said, wait a minute, this is wrong. We've been looking at birthright citizenship wrong for years, but they've used it. The cartels have used birthright citizenship to get very bad people in, and what Pam's doing and what Todd and everybody else, what they're doing at DOJ and all over, FBI, ICE, Border Patrol, these are incredible people. They're trying to keep our country safe, and they don't want to have people come in. This is just another way that they get illegal immigrants into our country, and in some cases, very, very bad ones.
Trump unshackled, and here's where everything comes together. With nationwide injunctions gone, Trump can now unleash his entire agenda all at once. End birthright citizenship, restrict immigration, build the wall, no more waiting, no more one-by-one battles. Why? Because he didn't just win a case, he destroyed the single legal weapon that blocked him for years. Those liberal judges who could freeze his plans nationwide? Gone. Power is now concentrated in the Oval Office like never before. Trump himself put it simply, Americans are finally getting what they voted for. Love him or hate him, this is the biggest shift in presidential power in decades, and it's going to shape the next chapter of American politics in ways we haven't even begun to imagine. So here's the question. Is this the rebirth of strong presidential leadership, or the start of something far more dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if this opened your eyes, and subscribe for more political deep dives, because trust me, this story is just getting started.